Hello, everybody. Welcome to the office hours. Welcome in, Rob Dunwood. Coming in hot.
About 12 seconds.
Yeah, I just started the stream right as you were messaging me about which studio we're in. Happy holidays, my fan.
Same to you. Same to you. It's really feeling festive. We're less than 2 days out from the big day.
Yep.
So it's really starting to feel like it.
Yeah. We're getting rain today here, like Pineapple Express rain. Have you heard that before?
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, it's when the rain comes in from Hawaii direction and just brings like a river of rain. I've also got Seven the dog in the studio with me. I should probably add a Seven cam.
What's up, Seven?
Yeah.
I will say this about the weather. It's like cloudy and overcast out, but it's like 60 degrees in Columbus, Ohio on December 23rd. No complaints whatsoever because it's pushing 60. It could be pushing 6. So I'll take it.
Yeah. In December, yeah, that's hot.
Yeah, it is unseasonably warm today, and it was just weird. Like yesterday, the high was maybe only like 39, but it just kept getting warmer from about midnight until through this afternoon.
If Seven ever settles into one place, I'll put a camera on him. Well, we got some mailbag stuff to get to.
Tom's got mail.
So this is from Joe Hood. Got a nice little postcard of the family there. Thank you, Joe.
Awesome.
For sending that along. There's some pictures on the back too. One of my favorites, I don't know if you can really see it, the beluga photobomb. They were taking a picture and a beluga whale at an aquarium just swam right into view behind them.
It's those things always amaze me. They're like giant kids. They play with the people that are coming by.
Yeah.
They look. I mean, they're in giant cages, but they look like they're having fun at least when they're interacting with people. So
yeah. Thank you, Seven, for that commentary. The Allison family, or I'm sorry, no, not Allison. This is Albisu, Alex Albisu. The Albisu family sent a nice postcard.
Okay.
The dogs and the kids. And then we actually read this story out from Michelle and David. They wrote, Tom, Sarah, Roger, Rob, again, thank you for all that you do and strangely bringing David and I together in a way. We had Len do a drawing of our wonderful family, Zoe, Nevada, and Jax. So you can see the kittens in there. They did the Len Peralta art.
Awesome.
Zoe. So I took a race down to the old P.O. box yesterday to make sure that I got the cards from people there. All right. I've got some other emails in here as well. Where'd they go? Oh, there they are. So next one comes from TJ. TJ says, back in 2009, I made a significant investment in my photography business by purchasing an Intel Mac Pro cheese grater and some other Apple equipment, which cost $15,000 at the time. I used a zero-interest small business purchase option from American Express to do this. I had been an Amex Gold Card member for 20 years at that point, which is why I qualified for this zero-interest program. Fast forward like 5 months, and I got a notice that my purchase was now being charged 20% interest monthly. WTF. I called Amex to find out what was going on. I had been 1 day late on my monthly payment. 1 single day. They slammed me with interest. Needless to say, I was furious, and the woman with whom I was speaking offered no alternatives. Just too bad, so sad. I took out a home equity loan at a much better interest rate to pay off Amex and vowed never to do business with them ever again.
1 day? That's
1 day.
1 day. Usually you get a
little bit of a grace period.
Because like 1 day isn't that you don't pay your bills. It might have been, oh wow, I forgot to pay Amex today and I got to get back home to do it or something.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It could literally just be an oversight like that. That is, man, 1 day?
And I understand that every customer that's over is going to ask for that exemption. So I understand why it's not automatic. But if you call and say, hey, you should have the latitude to give a customer who's got a good record and, That's crazy.
The fact that it's an Amazon Gold card and there's 20 years of history there, you should be able to look and see. It's like, this is an anomaly.
20 years.
So that surprises me. It doesn't surprise me. It's just, wow.
This was in reaction to me. This is in reaction to me telling my tales of 2 customer support, where I had bad from StubHub and good from Walmart. So this is the bad. TJ, did you not have a good example that you could send along to? I'm trying to keep Seven from getting caught up in my headphone cords here. Sorry about that.
Yeah. As I talk to more and more people about production and what it looks like, what we're looking at compared to what people are seeing us look like.
Yeah.
Like, I got that nice, pretty teal light behind me and in the sparkle lights and this and that and the other, but it pretty much looks like a warehouse everywhere to me. Yeah. It's like I'm looking at cobwebs, on the other side of the room, and boxes of
there's
unopened
my tangle
stuff.
of Seven's like, no, get me out of there. I don't want to.
Like, I literally have a rat's nest of various cables that are all plugged in and probably keeping me warm. But it's the magic of television making.
Jonathan wrote in, said, "Hey, DTNS gang, I thought I'd be safe going to Christchurch, New Zealand with my family for Christmas on the 23rd while shopping at a Woolworths grocery store. Last Christmas by Wham played over the store PA, and I was sent off to Whamhalla as part of Whamageddon."
Whamageddon.
Do you play Whamageddon, Rob?
I have never heard of the game Whamageddon. I get the reference, but I've never heard of it.
Yeah. So the idea is that it's people who love the song, but you try to see how long you can go from December 1st through December 24th without hearing it. And then on Christmas Day, you play it as much as you want, right? In celebration. It's called Whamageddon. When you hear it, you get sent to Whamhalla. It's more about telling the story of when you finally ran into it, because it's so ubiquitous. But yeah, covers don't count. Remixes don't count. It has to be
the actual group.
The original release of the original song. Jonathan, you made it. You made it so close.
Yeah.
So good.
Almost there. You're what about
2 days away? Yeah.
36
one
hours
day.
out.
Yeah.
36 hours out.
Yeah. I have so far. One of the other rules is you have to be aware you're hearing it. Someone can't tell you like, "Hey, they were playing it just now." If you don't, and you have to be honest with yourself. But if you don't notice it, it doesn't count. And that apparently happened at Universal Studios with Eileen and I earlier this month. She's like, "I didn't want to say anything because if you didn't notice it, it doesn't count." But she's like, "They played it." I was like, "Don't even tell me where." Because as soon as she told me where, I might have remembered it and then it would have counted. So I escaped.
That would be so useful in so many other instances. If you didn't hear it, it didn't count. If you didn't see it, it didn't count.
Yes,
it's like,
right.
I didn't see that note to take the trash out.
So it doesn't count that I missed it.
Doesn't count. Didn't see it.
Seven discovered the trash can and found something way more interesting than his toy. All right, you're just gonna stay there and lay on the rug. All right. He is supposed to be out with a dog walker, but because of the rain and the flood warnings and everything, they canceled his dog walk. So now he's stuck with us. Okay. We've got some other stuff to talk about, but I do want to get to acknowledging all the emails about Lamar Wilson that were sent to us. Some of them personal. So I'm not going to read every single one, but if you sent me one, I read it and it is very much appreciated. We all appreciate it.
Same here. I have gotten dozens of messages because people know that Lamar and I were friends. So I've got a whole lot of folks that have been saying, "Hey, sorry for your loss," because it is a big one. I mean, I was shook Friday when I found out.
Yeah. And if I didn't write back to you, please know that I was just a little overwhelmed. But I read every word and appreciated it very much. There's two I want to read here because I think they're beneficial for everybody else to hear. And they were posted either on Patreon where everybody can see it, or I got permission from the other one. Bill said, We'll miss you, Lamar. You seem like a wonderful person and would have loved to meet you in person. Please reach out to people. I have a friend of mine who I've known since high school. When we first met at the mall while playing Dance Dance Revolution, we'd hang out every weekend for years. Lost contact after I moved to college, but by a happy coincidence reconnected us more than 10 years later. We started hanging out again. I'd known she had bouts of depression, but she seemed to snap back. One night she called me to see if she could come over. I said absolutely, and she came over with some food. She sat on my kitchen island for what seemed like an hour, never said anything. I tried to engage in some conversation, but she never put in an effort to have a conversation. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know how to ask. After who knows how long, she said goodbye and left. And I found out the next day that another friend got her checked into a psych ward because she was going to attempt suicide. I was shocked, sad, angry, and happy all at once. I was shocked that she would do this. I was sad that she felt it was her only option. I was angry that she would have had that be our last interaction and that I did nothing to help her. But overall, I was happy that she was getting help. Maybe a week or two later, she called me sounding happier than I had ever heard her before. She worked with a psychologist and discovered what had been messing her up. The years leading up to that phone call, she had been living in a man's body. As soon as she realized what was going on, everything changed. When she told my wife the news, my wife's reaction was, yeah, that makes sense, because she and my wife shared a lot of similar interests. This was probably 6 years ago. She's moved to a more accepting state, has 3 wonderful cats, and is living a happy life after transitioning. I'm so happy for my friend, but I still think about how I almost lost her because I wasn't able to do anything about it. After hearing about Lamar, I felt like I needed to talk with her and check in. We had an amazing call that lasted over an hour, just talked about life and work, her cats, all of it. It was great hearing her again. That night at my kitchen island taught me that silence can hold a storm and that presence can be the bridge back to life. If you're in that storm now, please let someone know. We'll miss you, Lamar. The best way I know to honor you is to carry forward your kindness by checking in on each other, saying the hard thing with love, and staying until the silence breaks.
Great email. Great email.
Bill, thank you for sharing that story.
Something that, we're all really busy people. And some folks are better at this than others. They actually, they go out of their way to, hey, I haven't talked to this person in a while. Let me go check in. Yeah. But almost everyone tends to think of someone and say, oh, I need to call them. And then life happens and you don't think about it. And, what could have happened right there in the moment, doesn't happen for 2 or 3 weeks. So I would just say that when you're thinking of someone, you don't have to always call. Just say, hey, I was just thinking about you, because that's literally what the thought was. Yeah. And you never know what that might do for someone's day. Just them knowing that you were thinking of them right then. You're not necessarily having a conversation right now. But hey, I was just thinking about you. Or I saw this funny card and it reminded me of the hoopty we had, you had back in high school. It was, those kind of things. It doesn't have to be a complete conversation, but that can absolutely change someone's whole day. So that's something that I'm trying to do, is that whenever I think of someone, and I can actively, pull the phone out and send a quick message, a quick text, just do it, because it's you don't have to schedule it. Just do it. It takes you 15 seconds.
The other one we got was from Corey K. He said, I could tell in your voice that you're pretty shaken up over Lamar, and I just wanted to express my sincerest condolences to you. It's hard losing people you care about, and especially to suicide. I've worked for the military in some form or fashion since 1991 and have some experience in the matter. I think I've lost a good friend every year for the last 10 years. I wish I could tell you the pain lessens or it gets easier. It doesn't. And situations like this bring back the memories. I can tell you that continuing on does help. And now is the time to rely on your loved ones for support. Even me, if you feel there is nowhere else. Also, hugging 7 will help. Dogs can sense your sorrow and have a unique ability to be there for you. And make sure you are there for others. I became part of the American Legion's Be the One program for veteran suicide awareness and mitigation. Call your friends, make sure they're all right, even the ones that have families. Check in with them during the holidays and make yourself available to them if they need. Like I tell people when I hang out my card, I would rather talk to you for several hours in the middle of the night than to read about you later. Like me, do everything in your power to stop this from happening. I listened intently to A Word today and can understand what an awesome person Lamar was. Hang in there. Again, my heartfelt condolences, and I wish you and yours a wonderful holiday season. P.S. Also tell folks that talking about suicide is a good thing. There's a myth that if you ask someone if they're suicidal or talk about it, they'll be more likely to commit suicide. That is false. 988 is the U.S. national number to call. Thank you, Corey, for that.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I think that's the other thing is I want to make sure that we don't stigmatize it. You know, I think there's a worry that like you're celebrating it or something if you bring it up, or it's embarrassing or something. But I was thinking about this earlier. You know, if you have a sore throat, that could mean anything from you've just got a cold to throat cancer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you're not embarrassed to tell people you have a sore throat. And if it's really bad, you know, you go to the doctor and you get something for it, right? I hope this isn't taken the wrong way, but a suicidal thought is not uncommon for people. And it could just be a sore throat that's a cold, or it could be something fatal. So it would be great, let's say, if it were no more than saying I have a sore throat, I should go to the doctor, you know, if you're in that situation.
Yes. Talking about it is not going to make someone more likely to do it. The exact opposite is true. The conversation about it and the back and forth with another person can get the person that's thinking about it out of their thoughts about why they should do it compared to why they shouldn't do it, which is a good thing. So that's why we have the 988 hotline and other hotlines, and, you know, and people who are, you know, more than willing to have conversations with you if you're having any of these kind of thoughts. So we definitely want to make sure that, that if you're having the thoughts and you need to talk to someone, dial 988.
Yeah. And don't be worried about being stigmatized or like, they're going to send the white coats after me or anything like that. Like it's very much like, have you ever had a thing where you thought it sounded really, really great, and then you say it out loud to somebody and you're like, oh, actually that doesn't sound that great. Now that I said it out loud, it feels different. It's very similar to that.
It is just having somebody else parrot back something to you that you're thinking, and like I can't say that I understand it. I don't understand it because it's not something that I have personally have sure. dealt with. Those type of feelings. But everything that I've ever read, everything I've ever been told by people that I know who do have those kind of thoughts or have had them in the past is that talking is what helps you get over it and helps you get through.
Well, we'll leave it there with the good advice from Kirill and with the professionals that you can call if you need to. Again, in the U.S., that number is 988, 2 8s, 9 and 2 8s. Now, leave a respectful pause so we can transition and talk about some other stuff. You went a little viral there on the threads today, Rob.
It's still going, man. So now this isn't viral for Marquez Brownlee. This is viral for Rob. So understand there are levels to this.
Gotcha.
Normally, my posts get 500, maybe to 1,000 views on them if it's a really good one. Today, I just posted about DJI, and basically DJI is effectively banned in the United States for new stuff. And it has gone wild. Right now, we're just shy of 14,000 views on it. Yeah, and there are hundreds of comments, dozens of reposts. I try to respond to every comment. It is getting difficult because there are a lot of comments. Yeah,
at a certain point, you're just not humanly capable of catching up when you're getting that many.
Man, this isn't just the drone world that is upset about this. This is people who use DJI action cams. This is creators of all sorts. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 for the 2, I guess, pushing into 3 years, I think has been out, has been the camera to get for your quote unquote vloggers and beginning content creators. Even some folks who have been doing it for a while, they're using this camera because it's so small and it's so easy to use. And folks are like, okay, is my camera going away? So the things that we should say is that no, if you already have DJI stuff, that stuff is fine for the most part. It's not going away. It's still, you're still able to use it. They're not banning the stuff that you already own. The caveat could be is that they are banning new updates and they're banning new software. Now, because this is, particularly the Osmo Pocket 3 is it's an aged phone. You don't know how many more updates were going to come out. There's rumors that there's going to be a new Osmo Pocket 4 coming out very soon. But getting updates, getting firmware, getting, additional software to make that, that camera more functional. That's where I have concerns about. Just go out and buy all the DJI stuff you can right now, because it's not going to be on shelves, anymore. Because two things. Number one, that's not true. They will still be on, so they can still sell it.
Yeah.
The other part of it is that these are not inexpensive devices. Do you want to buy a device that you now have to jump through a hoop to get an update for it? You and I both know that there's easy ways we can get updates for stuff we already have. But that's not necessarily for the layperson. It's like, they may have to do a little bit of work, do a little bit of research to figure out how to get updates for these devices like the Osmo 360 and the Osmo Action 4, 5, 6, or whatever, whatever devices they have. You're going to have to now jump through a little hoop to get your updates for these things going forward.
Yeah, it's unclear what that's going to entail, because the FCC order says that they're not allowed to bring new products into the United States. Mm-hmm. In fact, let me get the actual the word for word, because that's always helpful to have. The U.S. has issued an order prohibiting the sale or import of all new uncrewed aircraft systems and UAS critical components, as well as targeting communications and video surveillance equipment specifically from DJI. So it's just the drones and the components for the drones. So unless it's DJI, then it's also any other video stuff.
Yeah, so it's the drones, the cameras, and the microphones.
Mm-hmm. That's the video surveillance equipment from DJI. Now, the drone thing is any drone made outside of the U.S. That's not just DJI. That's any drone made anywhere in the world. It could be made in Canada. It could be made in Mexico. It's not allowed to be imported if it's new. If it's already been approved, because this is the FCC doing it, right? This is not a customs thing. This is the FCC saying we will not approve any new stuff. I don't know how that affects software updates, because it's a component, but I don't know that software updates have to be approved by the FCC every time they're pushed. So DJI might have some wiggle room to still provide software updates. We'll have to wait and see. But like you said, that new Osmo, that's not going to be approved by the FCC, and so it won't be allowed to be imported. This affects way more than just DJI. So this allows them to keep selling their current models, so they can keep importing current models. It means that it's not killing their business immediately. And it certainly allows some breathing space to negotiate, which is, I'm guessing, what this is all about.
Yeah, like folks are up in arms. And that's the reason why the post is going so viral, because it's like, I didn't really say anything. I was like, well,
yeah,
DJI drones, cameras, and microphones are banned. Good luck. You can
keep using what you got.
So, but yeah, it is gone viral. So you can't see the account there that you were just showing. But if I look on my phone, I think we're approaching 14,000.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got 212 hearts, but that's all we see. That's just the people who took the time to put a heart on it.
So we're 13,994 views, right? I'm sorry, 13,594 views right now.
Yeah.
So, like I said, for me,
that's a lot.
That is a lot. Have I had threads that have gone more viral than that? Yes, but not ones that I initially authored. They were me responding to someone else who had 50, 60,000 followers. So I don't count those the same way, because those weren't people who were, coming to see my post. They were coming to see somebody else's post, and then I said something clever, and it just, kind of got swept up in the wave. This was something that I saw it this morning when I was getting ready for headlines. I'm like, wow, this is probably going to be the top headline of the day. And folks are all kinds of people. Like I said, I was expecting it was going to be the drone folks and maybe the camera folks that were going to be the ones that were making the most hay about this. But it's regular people who, I got a YouTube channel. What am I supposed to do now? And it's like, well, read this, go to the CNN article that I'll link.
Take a breath.
Gives you a lot of information there. I think you're worried about some things you don't need to worry about. They're not going.
Right.
literally, some people are saying that, they'll get my Osmo Pocket, when they pry it from my, pry it from my hands. No, they're not coming.
They're not going to try to pry it from your hands.
So there are a lot of things, and not to make it political at all, but it's there's questions about Donald Trump Jr. is actually in the process of starting a competitive company to make drones. So that's what a lot of stuff is coming back, and I don't know that it's that. I don't know that it's not that, but it's definitely something.
I imagine what we're going to see is DJI agree to build a factory in the United States. That I feel like is one very likely outcome of this.
The other interesting part of this is that there is another company called Extra, and Extra builds products that look strikingly like DJI products.
Yeah.
Some would say they look identical to them. Like if you were to actually take an Extra Muse, which looks exactly like a DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and break it open, you would see the same components from the same company that they look so similar.
Which could be it's a DJI shell company, which The Verge did my brother-in-law, Sean Hollister, did the story on this. They couldn't find any clear evidence of that. It could also be that somebody realized that, hey, the company that makes all the components for DJI could just put these together for me too. And then I could sell them, and maybe I cut DJI a check on the back end or something like that. So
it could be that they have multiple products, but they very clearly say in there about, we're based in Delaware. It just says Delaware, United States. So it's like, it is an American company. And we will have to see how if Extra is able to get around the restrictions that DJI has, if they're the exact same.
The problem is where they're created, where they're produced, right? And that is one of the things about the FCC notice is you could be a Delaware company all day long. I'm sure DJI has presence in the United States and a subsidiary they could use. But if your stuff's being made anywhere outside of the United States, then this notice applies to you. They say it poses an unacceptable risk to national security to have these made outside of the United States.
So a great question that I got on one of the replies to this thread was Hasselblad. They are a subsidiary of DJI. They make cameras that have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi radios in them.
Yeah.
Do they fall under this at this point?
Yeah.
And it's like this story is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not really even new. We knew this was going to happen. I think today, the fact that it actually went into effect today, that the regular people, who don't necessarily live and breathe on everything tech, is saying, wait a minute, I have a DJI camera. How is this affecting me? And I think that's kind of what's happening today. But like I said, I never even thought about Hasselblad. It's like, but yeah, they are owned by DJI. So will their new cameras fall under this restriction?
Yeah, because it's DJI is targeted specifically for surveillance. So it's a matter of whether they consider, if they decide to class Hasselblad as surveillance, my guess is they won't, right? Because they just they don't want to do that. But covered equipment, I'm trying to find the part of this that singles out DJI, and I'm having a hard time discovering it. But yeah, I'm guessing they won't. This stuff usually ends up being less awful than it looks at first, and not ending up going into effect in as far an extent as they wrote it in the beginning. Let me look at TikTok. TikTok was supposed to be banned. We should have been without TikTok for a year now in the United States, but it still works.
Well, if we follow that logic, this time tomorrow everything will be fine.
I mean,
if the same thing that happens, happens there.
I think it's not 1-to-1 because they're like, you can keep selling the stuff we've already approved, but we won't let you sell new stuff. So that gives them some time to work on something where they're like, oh, okay, we'll let you sell some new stuff as long as you promise to build a factory or something like that.
And for folks who are saying, man, does this mean I can't get the Osmo Pocket 4? No, it doesn't mean that, because the Osmo Pocket 4 has already received FCC
It's not new from today.
It's not
right?
new from today. Yeah. So it's basically new stuff that DJI announces from today. Maybe they'll make some announcements at CES in a couple of weeks. Those announcements that are not FCC approved yet, they have some problems being sold inside of our borders. But yes, for a few devices that they have not actually released yet but have announced, they're good because they already have FCC approval. So all the folks who are wondering about that Osmo Packet 4, you are good. I actually did research that earlier today.
That's good to know. All right. I was going to put 7 on camera, and then he immediately got up. He knows when I try to put a camera on him.
He is like the significant other of so many people who vlog. They just don't want to be in the shot. They walk behind, they walk in front. They don't want to, they put their hands up. I see 7 doing that to you right now.
Yeah, he is. Look, he's like, I'm hiding over here in the corner. I was going to say it takes 27 minutes from the beginning of a live stream for my dog to calm down and lay down, but then he got right back up again. Now he's chewing on the rug. All right. Well, good. I have not been paying as much attention to chat as I usually do during the office hours. Does this mean Larry Ellison's going to own part of DJI? I mean, who knows? He's putting all of his wealth behind the Paramount acquisition of Warner right now, though. So I don't know if he'll have any left. Rob says a lot of clever things on Threads. I love reading them. KT Data, you are correct. If you don't follow Rob on Threads, you really should.
Appreciate that. That is the one social media place that I actually check every day and probably post something darn near every day. Like if it's not 7 consecutive days, it'll be 35 things in a week just because I post multiple things and I reply to multiple things. So there may, like Sundays are awfully busy for me, so I may not do stuff on Sunday, but it's pretty much every day I'm on the social media. And honestly, this is probably the most active on any social media platform that I've ever been on.
Nick with a C says, I wish Threads was mirrored on Mastodon. I mean, it kind of is. I don't know, Rob, if you've turned that on where you can have your stuff show up on the Fediverse.
I do. So I've got, I think, 6 people who actually follow me from the Fediverse, and I allow my stuff to go out there. I will say this, though. Meta is throwing the signals out there that's like, well, we're going to keep doing it, but we really don't care about the Fediverse at all. And I think what is happening is that they're big enough, Threads in that, in that space is so big at this point, they don't really have to worry about it. So it's like, if you want to see what people are saying on Threads, create an account and come on over here.
Yeah. I think it would be good for them to continue to do it because it builds goodwill.
I think from that standpoint, they are continuing to do it, but the dream that people who are not on Threads, the amount of data that they want to come from Threads, you're probably not going to get much more than what you're getting right now. It'll be, what they've already done is what they will continue to support. It may be some minor updates if things change in the Fediverse that they need to update, but I just don't see this company doing that because it's Meta, and Meta builds walled gardens. And it's like, if you want to see, we have really tasty fruit inside of our garden. If you want to taste it, come on in.
Yeah. I think I finally got the dog to settle down now. Well, we don't have to be quiet or anything. But
just don't let them know that you're looking at them.
Don't let them know the camera's on them.
Yeah. So hey, man.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Sorry, I got distracted there trying to make sure my dog wasn't going to eat the wall. I think Threads, because it's behind Mosseri, is probably a little more open to doing these kinds of things, which is why you're seeing them versus Facebook, which is total Zuckerberg. Mm-hmm. But you can't discount that it is part of that larger company. I think Mosseri is open to doing a few more things that are longer term good because they're goodwill. And that's why you saw Threads do the Mastodon thing at all. You never see Facebook do anything like that.
Mm-hmm. And it's like I said, but they've come out and said that we're not getting rid of it. So it's not like it's a feature that's going to go away, but it's not something that we're actively thinking about adding functionality to. They've got too much other stuff going on. So when they're telling you that that's what they're doing, believe them.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. When we're not going to support you more than we already are, they're probably not going to support you more than they already are.
I think a lot of the buzz around Mastodon has cooled off too, and so they're seeing less pressure to do it, for good or ill, right?
I created a Mastodon account. I created a Blue Sky account. Mastodon, it simply never took off for me. I personally didn't find community there on Mastodon. Blue Sky, I used it a bit until all the people that were on Blue Sky that I was having conversation with were also in Threads. And it's like, well, if we're all over here anyway,
yeah,
might as well just continue to have the conversations in the place where we all are. So you get the economies of scale. So I do like Blue Sky, but it's so small. I mean, I think it's 400 million monthly active users on Threads.
Yeah,
is
I have a decent community on Mastodon. You like Threads? Is that what? Okay. I have a decent community on Mastodon, but it's different. I find that Blue Sky is very, I don't even want to say political, but ideological. The people who I interact with Blue Sky are very much like, this is the right way for whatever it is they're talking about, whether it's politics or Android or whatever. Threads seems a little more buzzy, like we'll follow whatever the biggest trend is. And then Mastodon is very geeky. That's where I get the people who are like really into open source, really into Linux and all that sort of thing. Hey, thank you, Lord Mulgar, for the $7 for 7.
Thank you very much. The reason I don't use the other two is because for me, like I've never really been a big social media person anyway. Not from a personal standpoint. I've done some branded stuff that has gotten huge on Instagram years ago. But that was like branded stuff. It wasn't me. You didn't even necessarily know that it was me. It was just it was a brand type of thing. But I don't want to have to work hard to have the conversations that I want to have. It's like I don't know that I'm into social media enough to where I'm going to really go and work and try hard to make Mastodon work for me, to make Blue Sky work for me. And because of that, and I'm not saying that that's like, that you have to do that, but I think when you're talking about a smaller, environment like those two platforms are, you do have to be a little bit more patient with it, simply because they don't have the economies of scale. They don't have, hundreds of millions, if not billions of people on them. So that was just me not being that into social media, that I was just never able to really take off over there. And on Threads, I'll put something out and somebody will respond to it, yay or nay, or you're crazy or not, or you're the smartest person in the world. They will respond within 3 or 4 minutes. I put stuff on Mastodon or put stuff on Blue Sky, and you may not see a response. So there was no gamification for me. A big part of me being on Threads is that I'll say something and somebody will say something back. Therefore, I want to say something again. And even the first year or so of me using Threads, it wasn't that way. It's just that I kept going back to it because I knew that people that I followed on other platforms were there and they were saying stuff. So I was following them, even if it wasn't me saying anything. But now the lurker in me has become the poster, and I actually really like the platform.
Yeah, I think I think a lot more people have the Threads experience you're describing as posters. I do hear people talk about Blue Sky in that same way, and it just kind of depends on who you are and what community you ended up stumbling into. There are still lots of people on X doing their thing over there too. I don't think the thing I hoped would happen is going to happen, which was that we would see a push towards interoperability. Which is why I was excited about Threads doing any kind of Fediverse interaction, and Tumblr doing that as well. I thought maybe Blue Sky would eventually move that way, but I don't think it's going to. And certainly X isn't going to go towards interoperability. So unfortunately, I think we're headed back towards a world where one or two of them will win and they won't interoperate.
I think the reason for that is because these are big, giant companies that want to make a lot of money. And the way you make a lot of money is keeping people inside of your application. So if you're giving folks the ability to not be in your application, you are giving them the ability to not be monetized by you. So there's definitely some goodwill to that because people like open source. They like the Fediverse. But if you really sit down and think of it, whenever I put myself into the mind of what would the person that's running this company do? That's why they do what they do. It's like, well, this is what's going to ultimately make the most amount of money and upset the least amount of people. So this is the route that we're going to go.
Yeah, I think Mastodon will stick around. I think it'll be a vibrant community. It'll just never be as big as the others.
Mm-hmm. And that's fine. I mean, everything can't be the biggest.
True. Well, this is the last office hours of the year. So thanks everybody for showing up and hanging out. It's been fun doing these. We'll continue to do them. We won't have an office hours like this until January, I don't know, the 12th, I think.
13th-ish.
I think is the Monday.
Monday, Tuesday. Yep, so Monday.
Yeah. But Rob and me and Amos intend to do some Patreon and Substack live streams in the evenings after CES. Last year, the pattern was generally like cover CES, go to an evening press event, come back to our hotel and sort of decompress in the lobby bar for a little bit and then head upstairs to crash. And so we thought we might let you in for part of that lobby decompress. So if you're a patron, look for those live streams in the evening.
We're calling it the Nightcap Recap.
The Nightcap Recap. Yeah, I like that. That was a good naming. We have one more show tomorrow morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. It'll be 1 p.m. for Rob, 10 a.m. for me, 1 p.m. Eastern. We're doing a live look back at tech gifts we've gotten in the past, or tech gifts we want to get in the future. It's all about tech gifts. We've got lots of great submissions from listeners that we'll play. Got a couple of listeners that are going to join us live. And then that'll be the last new thing. We've pre-recorded stuff for the rest of the year. So we've got a tech support for your gifts coming on Friday. We've got the best of that I just saw that Joe edited. Looks great. That's coming on Monday. The predictions results show, the predictions show, and then back on January 2nd with a new live look forward at CES. And then our CES coverage begins the week after that. So plenty of stuff to keep you tied out over through the holidays.
All of it. Still trying to figure out what I'm taking to CES. I got the bag down to 47 pounds now. I'm still trying to get it.
Making progress. That's good.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't think I need to take that pack of ND filters. I'll probably be okay. We're indoors most of the time. Yeah,
you'll be okay. I still have it. I'm going to bring my Rodecaster. And so I know my basic setup, but I'm not sure what, if anything. I'm bringing some headphones for the setup on the show floor. But I don't know what else I might bring.
I'm going to risk it and not bring any of my big boy cameras.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can do everything with my phone. Well, actually, I'm going to take the phone out because it'll be the Osmo Pocket 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have, this is the original Sony ZV-1. So this thing is small.
Okay.
This is actually small enough I can put this in my pocket.
Sure.
And it is great for stills. And it's actually good with video when you have light. So which we will have all over the show floor. So if I want to see if I can just bring this in the Osmo Pocket and be fine, because I know that there are other people who are there who have their FX3s and FX30s and the Canons and the Lumix and the Nikons and all the other
or
stuff.
their GH5, as KT Data is saying. Rob, you can borrow my GH5 if you need it.
And when I say borrow, that means, Kevin, can you come and hold this and point it at me and the person I'm talking to? Because I don't want to do it.
For some definitions of borrow, that is correct. Yes, exactly. All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Talk to you tomorrow morning or perhaps later in the week on one of the special episodes. Have a happy holidays. If we don't talk to you again, see you soon.
Bye. Peace out, everybody.